how do you recover faster from your workouts? Right now, you might be struggling around like Bambi on ice after leg day. Maybe you are in a situation where trying to go to the toilet is like a scene from fucking Platoon, where you feel like you need some fucking carer to help you sit down on the bog, get up off the bog, whatever it is. Maybe you've done a chest workout and you can barely lift your arms, your chest is sore, and you just want to be able to recover a little bit quicker because you want to get back into the gym. You enjoy it. You enjoy that process of building muscle, of training, of pushing yourself. So you want to kind of push yourself a bit harder. You want to kind of get back into the gym as quickly as possible. So that means you want to recover a little bit quicker. So now we're going to look at the importance of recovery because it is such an overlooked aspect of achieving your goal. People just focus really too much in on smashing themselves in the gym because let's face it, all of those gym selfies are always better for the gram than just a picture of you recovering by sitting around doing fuck all on the sofa. Everyone wants to see you lifting some badass weight. So you want to do that all the fucking time. Now, yes, you need training volume to be able to adapt, to be able to build muscle. You're going to get nowhere if you are not doing that. But you also need to make recovery a specific and considered part of your program so that you are making the most out of it. Because if you fail to recover, then your long-term progress is just going to take this fucking nosedive off the face of a cliff, and no one wants that. Now, if you're in a situation where you can't recover because you are too sore, because you do feel like you almost had your legs chopped off because that's how bad they feel after leg day, then you might be needing to reconsider, how much actual training volume specifically you're doing and maybe what you're not doing from a nutrition point of view. So yes, there are things you can do to optimize your recovery, but there's also things you can almost stop doing because that's what's killing your recovery, not necessarily because you're missing a specific nutrition strategy, for example. So when you look at your training, you need to have a good, honest look at your training volume. Is your training volume right for you? Is it just simply too excessive? Yes, you've downloaded some sort of workout from an online magazine or something like that, or you've seen it through the pages of Flex Muscle and Fitness, Women's Health, and you thought, this sounds great, but actually it might just be too much volume for you. There's something called maximal recoverable volume, which is something Dr. Mike Israetel, I think he was one of the guys that invented it, and he's one that certainly talks about it a lot. Now, I suggest you go find him on Instagram and check out his stuff. He's a very knowledgeable dude. Now, this idea of your maximum volume you can recover from is important. It's different for every sort of person, and it's going to be driven by the amount of sets you do per muscle group. And it could be, for you, if you're a beginner, like 9 to 12 sets. It could be something up to like 20, 24 sets per week of a muscle group if you're a slightly more advanced lifter. But you've got to find where that maximum level of volume is that you can take in order to be able to recover from it between workouts. Now, again, that's going to be nuanced. It's going to be individual. So you just got to make sure that you aren't just hammering yourself in the gym far too much, because yes, everyone wants to look like a fucking badass on Instagram, but you won't look like a badass if you don't make any fucking progress. Everyone will look at you and go, hang on a minute, you've been posting gym selfies for a fucking year of you lifting weights, but you don't look any fucking different. That's because you smashed yourself too much, you didn't recover from it, and therefore you didn't make any fucking progress. Anyway, from a nutrition point of view, you might not be having enough protein. You might not be fueling your workouts enough, so you might not be having enough carbohydrate. And again, like calories overall, if you're in a calorie deficit, you're going to struggle with recovery a little bit more than if you had more calories available, so on and so forth. And if that's not optimal, maybe your sleep isn't optimal either. So all of these different things can build up and affect your ability to recover from a workout. So sometimes it's not necessarily what am I not doing? It's what are you doing right now that you should stop doing that is the secret to making sure that you can recover faster from your workouts. So I want to give you a few little tactics and a few little tips and tricks to help you make sure that you've got your recovery on point. Now, the first thing I would do is review your training split. So are you potentially training muscle groups too frequent, too often, or with too high amounts of volume? What is the volume that you're doing, and is that reflective of where you're at right now in terms of your beginner or intermediate or advanced level of training, where it's your skill level? Are you doing too many workouts per week? Are you a beginner who really should be doing maybe 3 to 4 workouts and you're actually trying to do 6 and 7 workouts per week? Again, too much volume. You can't recover from these things as quickly as you think you can. For example, if you are just starting out in the gym, just starting out a workout program, you're going to feel those workouts much, much more than if you'd been doing them for a year. They're going to be a shock to the system. They're going to be a little bit of a fucking wake-up call for your muscles. And it's going to take you a few more days to recover from those. So it's important you make sure that you're not trying to overreach on volume, exercises, number of workouts too soon. Let that volume increase over time as you become better at recovering. And also, you don't have to go to failure every single fucking set of every single exercise to make progress. You are not Johnny Big Balls. You are not, I don't know what the equivalent of Johnny Big Balls is in the female world. I don't know, Olivia fucking Big Ovaries. I don't know if that's a thing. Maybe it is, Olivia Big Ovaries. Anyway, if you are Johnny Big Balls or Olivia Big Ovaries, then you don't have to go to failure every single time. You don't have to push yourself absolutely to the limit every single time. If you are stopping maybe within 1 to 3 reps of absolute failure, you will still make probably the same amount of progress. It's not really the case that you have to absolutely hammer yourself to failure each and every exercise, each and every time you step foot in the gym. Now, for some of you, this information is going to seem like a step back. This information, you're going to be in your head, you're going to be thinking, Simon, I am not fucking going to listen to you, because that means I'm going to have to do less workouts. That means I'm going to have to pull back on my training volume. That means I'm going to maybe have to lift less. That means I'm maybe not going to have to go to failure every time. I don't want to fucking do that. I'm Johnny Big Balls, and my training partner, Olivia Big Ovaries, we both want to go and smash ourselves in the gym. So again, like, this is you maybe having to swallow some sort of ego pill that says, well, okay, if I want to make progress in the long term, I actually want to make some progress in the gym, get through all these training plateaus that I keep hitting, then actually maybe I'm going to take 2 steps back, reevaluate my training, and systematically create a training program that I can execute workouts effectively, recover from them, and have an awesome workout the next time. Recover, have an awesome workout, rather than having awesome workout, no recovery, shit workout, no recovery, shit workout, etc, etc, etc. That is not a good way for you to make progress. Now, from a nutrition point of view, it's likely that you're going to feel more, I'd say you're going to have more difficulties recovering in a calorie deficit, simply for the fact you haven't got the nutrients available for you to try and get through that process a bit quicker, to refuel yourself a little bit quicker. All those things are going to be a bit more of a challenge. That's not to say that you can't. That's not to say that it's impossible. It's just going to be slightly more difficult. You're probably going to feel it a little bit more when you're in a deficit. But having said all that, make sure your protein intake is up there. Obviously, protein is going to help, rebuild and repair muscle and things like that, make it grow. So if you're under eating on protein, you're going to make that process a little bit more difficult. So your 1.8, 2.2 grams per kilo is going to be spot on for where you want to be at. Now, you probably also want to make sure that your carbohydrate is high as possible, so that you can fuel your workouts, so that you can restore your energy, and so that you can go into these workouts at your maximum. Now, bear in mind that carbohydrate intake and fat ratios don't really matter so much when it comes to your fat loss if you're in a calorie deficit. So really focusing on, yes, increasing your carbohydrates, but within the framework of what's going to work for you in terms of preference and adherence. So don't increase your carbohydrates if in fact you like a lot of high fat foods. Overall, your adherence to your diet and your ability to stick to your food preferences is way more important. But if you like carbohydrates, and then maybe have a few more of them, fucking hell, who doesn't want that? Next one, creatine. Creatine supplement that I recommend for anybody in any phase, whether you're fat loss, maintenance, muscle building, whatever, calorie surplus. If you are in the gym, lifting weights, take some fucking creatine. It's not fucking steroids. It's not going to fucking send you loopy. It's going to help you. It's going to help you strength, power, recovery as well. So make sure you're getting that creatine down your neck, whether it's a loading phase to start with, which is going to be about 20 grams per day for 5 to 7 days. Then you're going to go down to a maintenance phase of 5 grams per day and just keep that going. That's going to help with your recovery. Next one is going to be a little bit of a left field one that you've probably never heard of. Something called Cherry Active Juice. Now this is something you can buy. I'm sure Amazon fucking does it. Amazon fucking does everything. So anyway, this is my not my advert for Amazon. So anywhere you can get it, Google it. Fucking hell, come on. You can sort yourselves out. But basically, this is going to help with recovery. It helps to limit DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, for those of you not aware. But there is a but with this. It does impact your adaptations from a strength and hypertrophy, i.e. building muscle perspective. So if you supplement with Cherry Active Juice, yes, you will recover faster, but you won't get as much muscle building adaptation or strength adaptation. So for example, if you are a strength training athlete, maybe you're a powerlifter or something like that, and you're in a phase of your training where maybe you're tapering in to a particular show. So you're an event, competition. So maybe you've got you've got the strength that you're going to have, and this is just now about recovering so you can do more events or do more training sessions. So you might want to take it. Then you might say, well, if you're in a sporting event, so maybe you play rugby or something like that, and you've got a match coming round or a training session coming round, so you want to recover quick so you can be, better at that training session, better in that match. But actually you don't really care about improving strength or improving muscle at this stage. It's more important for you to be recovering quicker. So Cherry Active Juice can help with that. But just make sure that if your goal is to build muscle, then it's going to work against you on that point of view. And then lastly, the thing is sleep. Optimizing sleep. It helps with nutrient partitioning, i.e. if you are sleep deprived consistently, your body is not necessarily going to burn fat when it maybe should be, and it's going to flip to burning something else, maybe muscle, which could be horrendous for you. And also you are going to be absolutely fucked if you're getting no sleep. Not literally fucked by somebody else. Maybe you would be. Maybe that's why you're not getting any sleep. I don't know. I'm not in your private life. But essentially, you're probably not going to have as good a workouts. And if you're not having as good a workouts, then okay, that might be a reason why you are not recovering particularly well. Anyway, hopefully this helped. Let's have a little bit of a recap as usual. So your tactics for making sure that you are recovering as optimally as possible. Make sure that you're not fucking yourself over from a training volume point of view. Don't be an absolute dickhead. Actually reduce your training volume to a level that you can actually recover from consistently. Next up, you might want to have a look at your training approach. If you're always training to failure, maybe that's not the right approach for you. 1 to 3 reps short of failure could be the best range that you could find. From a nutrition point of view, make sure that your calories are on point. Make sure your protein, carbohydrate on point, but bear in mind adherence and preference at the same time. Creatine, for most people, that's going to be a good option. Cherry Active Juice, like I've said before, if that is something where recovery is more important than improvements in strength and building muscle, might be a supplement you want to have a look at. Finally, optimizing sleep. You want to be recovered, rested, not absolutely fucked when you come into the gym the next time. So make sure you're optimizing your sleep. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode of the podcast. If you did, as usual, come and drop me a message on Instagram at iron_paradise_fitness. Tell me what you thought of the episode. Give me some ideas for the next bunch of podcasts. I'm always open to your suggestions because I want to make content that you want to listen to. So if you said, well, I would fucking listen to a podcast if you talked about this, Simon, send me that fucking message. And if you want more information on fat loss, building muscle, and to check out my online coaching program, then go to ironparadisefitness.com and I will put a link in the show notes for you to go and do just that. But for now, all I'll say is thanks so much for listening. Keep living the lean life, and I'll see you for the next episode of the show.